Hello everyone, on the spookiest of days, grab a bowl of sweets that were meant for trick-or-treaters and sit back and relax as you watch the lore of the spookiest of armies, the Nighthaunt. So, the Nighthaunt. These spirits gather together in hatred and rage to form armies. These spooky ghosts come in many forms, but that's getting ahead of ourselves. First, let's start with a history lesson. So, starting at the Age of Myth, we had the mortal realm that the Nighthaunts have been haunting since the start of the age. They are often seeking vengeance on the living themselves, or sometimes they serve more powerful entities. These can be soul-blight vampires. Sometimes entire hosts of Nighthaunts would rise and devour towns. Moving on, we head to the Age of Chaos, where Nagash, yes, the bone father to all skeletons, would summon the spirits of the entire underworld of Noreen. This was following a defeat at the hands of a demonic horde of Khorne at the Battle of Dudge Peak. These spirits, who were once heroes, were raised back from the dead and used to destroy the horde. Only the leader, the bloodthirster Kazakan, escaped their wrath. By some miracle or curse, the INF Deepkin Raiders would enter the Vault of Chains and by mistake release a host of spectres, cursed by Nagash to be held and tortured in the vault for eternity. With their freedom back, they would seek sweet revenge on the Lord of Death and even the living. We now arrive at Nagash's defeat by the hands of Archeon, and having most of the dead subjugated, imprisoned, or destroyed. Now, finally, we arrive at the Age of Sigma during the Necroquake, the huge rise in the Nighthaunt attacks on the living, and during this time, the Nighthaunts almost overran the Stormcast, but got distracted when they wanted to torment the populace of the city instead. After watching this, Nagash decided that to use the powers of the Nighthaunts fully, they needed a commander to control and direct them. So Nagash created a new Mortriarch to join his trio of lieutenants that serve him and command his legions. Having once cursed Lady Ulladen, now he sought out her again and gave her a sliver of his divinity. Her first great act was to send a siren call to summon back the Nighthaunts back to the realm of Shyish and to her service. All across the realm they came, and she sorted them into mighty legions or processions with a Knight of Shroud to command each spectral host. She then unleashed them against the enemies who would look to harm the great necromancer, and launched attacks on those who sought to command the underworld of Loreen. With her new army, she would get herself a list of wins against the necromancer's enemies, starting with defeating hosts of the Chaos Warlord Fur at the plains of Nafs, then the Stormcast at the Siege of Moriak. In doing so, the Nighthaunts would take back the Mausoleum Mountains. The Mausoleum is a mountain range and an afterlife in the realm of Shyish, and a procession of Nighthaunts who saw them as an afterlife of sorts, so drove the Stormcast from the mountains. On occasions, processions form a brief alliance with the Flesh Eater Corps to help them with reclaiming Osa, but after each successful campaign, the ghosts would turn against the ghouls and destroy them. How they keep falling for the same trick over and over again, I will never understand. It might be because they are batshit crazy creatures who know no better than eating flesh and thinking they're still human, and the ghosts just like toying with them. But who knows, because I do not know at all. These ghosts have no control over, I think, their own happiness. Now, what is a procession? These are legions of spectral hosts that are under the command of Lady Ulladen. When the Siren Corps brought the ghosts back, they were made into said legions and then held together with their chosen lieutenant. Some processions are constantly being changed or reformed as their monarch wills it. Others are the spirits of a given area or local that have flocked together and remained in unison. Some notable legions are the Blood Mavens, who are dominated by red-haired Dreadscythe Harridans. Next is the Emerald Host, who are Lady Oladen's personal army, and are made of souls who plotted against her in life. Forcing them to serve her for all eternity. We have the Glowing Host, led by many tomb banshees. These spirits glow like their homes in the glittering marsh. Then we have the Grieving Legion, that act as the military force of the royal court of Doyorum. The Quicksilver Dead, these are formed into living quicksilver by the magic of Chamon. They have more substance than other Nighthaunts. We have Reekner's Condemned. This is the personal army of Reekner the Grimhaler. This wraith wizard often leads armies on behalf of Lady Ulladen when her duties demand attention elsewhere. Now, the last notable legion is the Scarlet Doom. These ghosts emerge from pools of blood. These frenzied killers seek revenge on those who mercilessly butchered and mistreated corpses. Now, a little break from the spooky ghosts. I hope everyone watching this has a good Halloween, or if you're watching this after Halloween, I hope you have a good day or evening. Of all the holidays, Halloween has been one of my favourite ones, as Halloween films are the best with how spooky they are, or cryptic horrors and monsters that have such interesting lore, or in some cases, Mothman, who kind of just hangs out. Leave a comment down below of your favourite horror or Halloween themed film you've seen. Now, getting back to the ghosts. The next section is the hierarchy of the Nighthaunt, and at the top of this list is Lady Olidine, the matriarch of grief, and who leads her own army in the most dire of campaigns. This is often accompanied by her spectral consort, this being Kurdos Velibintine. Most processions are normally led by Knights of Shrouds, although there are exceptions to this, like Reekner the Grimhaler and the Cane King Angrim. Under the command in this hierarchy lies the numerous captains, this being Dreadblade Harrows, Spirit Torment to the Guardians of Souls, Cane Wraiths, and finally we have Lord Executioners and Tomb Banshees. These are used to lead more specialized attacks upon the enemy. At the bottom of the hierarchy we have the armies that are led by said captains. We start off with the Chain Guard. This formation of Malagants are made up of chain rasp hordes and overseen by a Guardian of Souls. These hosts are frequently used to hold the center line of a Nighthaunt army by engaging the larger powerful enemy units and pinning them in place. The Guardian constantly draws the chain rasps back into battle, allowing the formation to constantly reform. Next is the Condemned, and these are led by Spirit Torments. These hosts are composed of the chain ghasts and the chain rasps into battle. They are normally the spear tips and Nighthaunt assaults as they rampage through the ranks of the foes. After them we have the Death Riders, and are the cavalry of the Nighthaunt processions, and are often drawn together around one or more black coaches, providing a powerful fast-moving force. The swell of supernatural energies allow them to charge with unnatural speeds to sweep around and all through those who stand to go against them. With them done, we move on to the Deathstalkers, and are the Nighthaunts that are put together to hunt and dispatch specific enemies and foes. The names of their targets is whispered to them via dark rites, and then they pursue their victims with vengeful zeal. The notable troops for these are Cane Wraiths, Glaive Wraiths, Stalkers, and Grimgas Reapers. Now, from Deathstalkers to the Executioner hordes, and led by the Lord Executioner. These small hosts are able to weave across the battlefield and strike powerful blows at the formations of the enemy. The spirit hosts of these formations are usually created from the souls of those the Lord Executioner slain in life. The Shrieker hosts are the Nighthaunts that are protected from the enemy's magic by the Myron. The Tomb Banshees leads her sisters into battle as she unleashes her wail of doom. She is accompanied by death scythes who tear into the shaken enemy. The shrieking of such a host can cause enemies to break and run. Now lastly, we have the Shroud Guard, the host of Nighthaunts, usually Bladegeist Reverence, that guard a Knight of Shroud, who are bound to their masters or mistress by magical oaths, and these oaths reinforce their spectral forms and allow them to absorb blows that would otherwise displace them. With them done, this has been the legions of the ghosts who follow the fair lady, who in turn serve the Bone Daddy himself. I hope everyone has an excellent Halloween and have a good night with whatever they do.